Now, this is take 2, so y'all gonna get a little behind the scenes. This is take 2 of episode 5. Now, we didn't get too far before we had a slight technical difficulty, but y'all know this your boy LP from the Poor Horsemen. Horsemen Academy is our opportunity outside of the normal Poor Horsemen episodes to provide you all some additional details that you can take actionable steps in your day-to-day lives. You all know that we recently had my brother Tajay Bird on for Bird Creative Marketing. And what I wanted to do was extend that conversation. Right after we got done, he mentioned, man, I've got someone that you need to get on. This individual has also been on a podcast that you've seen out of this studio before, Laced Up. So without further ado, brother, share yourself to the audience.
Man, delightful to be here, man. I appreciate the invite. My name is Kareem Day. I am the owner and creative director for A Herd of Bison, which is a local brand here housed in Houston.
Okay, now I started this joke, but I'm gonna tell it anyway because I thought it was gonna be a quality one. When we was talking before we got started, you setting up lights, camera angles, etc. I said, brother, you pick your good side. He said both my sides are good, so explain yourself. Come on, let us know what's going on.
Nah, man. I mean, just to be honest with you, both my sides bad, but I was rolling the dice on it, man. But nah, we good, man.
Nah. So what we want to do first is just let's talk about yourself first. Then we'll go to A Herd of Bison, and then we'll give people some actionable things that they could take. So what got you in the fashion industry?
Yeah, solid, man. So I've always been into fashion. One of the things that's like really been like a critical thing for me just growing up. I've always wanted to design and get ahead of the curve and all those type of cheesy things like that. But it really started, I used to box.
Okay.
As a kid, and coming up in the amateur circuit, we had like uniforms and stuff like that, but for some reason, man, I just really wasn't feeling the uniforms that my club had or anything like that. So I would actually just design my own stuff and put like a little twist to it. And so that's how I can remember like from the beginning days, and that kind of translated into going to school and, making apparel and things like that.
Okay. So what weight class? What did you fight at?
So, I mean,
I know juniors, you were starting like flyweight.
Yeah.
Small
So
as you could be.
Yeah, I can't count those. That's just like at age 10. But when I stopped fighting, I was at 35, so like lightweight.
Oh, okay. So you was legit with your amateur career then.
Yeah, 100%.
How many fights did you have as an amateur?
I had about 70 something fights.
Okay, now this was not supposed to happen, but we got to talk a little boxing also. All right, Crawford or Spence?
I can't pick them, man.
Come on, you got to.
It's if I have to, I'm gonna say Spence, just because we haven't seen Spence hit the canvas, and we know how diligent he is in the ring, and we know that he just, you almost can't question somebody that they got the helping hand from God, man, from the car accident. It's like you're here for a reason. So.
But Crawford got shot in the head. You know what I'm saying? So both of them ordained.
See, now you wanted me to pick. I didn't want to go there. I just wanted to keep it like I couldn't pick. But yeah,
okay,
right.
Best 135 right now. Stevenson? Or is he at 130?
He at 135.
He at 135, yeah.
I like Stevenson a lot. I can't say he's the best right now because I haven't seen him tested like that, but I would go with Tank Davis for 35.
Man, Tank he a monster. He a monster. And this was not planned. I just want him to fight Ryan Garcia to shut Ryan Garcia up. Yeah. I know that sounds bad, but I really want him to fight Ryan Garcia.
Most definitely, man. If they can get that fight out, hopefully, I don't know. It was talks, but maybe if they can get it out by the end of the year, that'd be beautiful. But if we can get it at the top of next year, as a fight fan, that's my year is made.
Me too. I feel the same way. Okay. Back to the scheduled interview at hand. So from looking at, because you're right, the uniform of a boxer is usually terrible until you get guys like Floyd Mayweather who started wearing mink and guys like Oscar De La Hoya who started wearing their flag colors, etc. So how did you start that process then? Was it you cutting and sewing? Or you going out and buying things? How would that process go?
Yeah, it was really like me going out buying things. I was at the age where like my father was supporting me and everything. But during that time, I would always ask like, hey, Dad, can I get these trunks? I would design the trunks and and they had like a catalog from like ringside, ringside equipment, and I used to just kind of push it over to my dad, like, hey, I designed these, can I get these? And he would always say, like, you know, I'm not just gonna go buy you anything. You kind of got to earn it.
That's
so
what
you want to wear the nice stuff. You know, you got to earn it. You got to win some stuff like that. So it kind of started like that, and my father just like really just at some point just accepting it and saying, all right, okay, dude really just wanted to turn up when it comes to this apparel. So like, let me just go ahead and support it. But you know,
man, a supportive parent is incredible, because oftentimes some people feel like they're going at it alone, but you had someone in your corner, not boxing again. You had someone in your corner behind your dream. So definitely. I'd imagine that catapulted you some in the beginning.
100%. The support was always there. I think like you said, man, it's important to have someone like that in your corner. But yeah, that's been like since day one, and I'm sure we'll talk about it. But support and the things that you want to do and want to accomplish, just having that support is critical, man.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so let's talk post boxing, post you putting uniforms together. Did you only want to be in like athletic apparel? Is that where you wanted to land, or did you have bigger visions?
Yeah, so during that time when I was doing that was just because I just was disgusted with the things that I had to wear. But but no, it's always been just, well, from the beginning, just me designing for myself.
Okay.
Whether it was a athletic apparel, whether it's just something that I just wore every day, whether it was a uniform that I had to wear in middle school where I wasn't really digging the colorways, and I would, you know, do little things, the tweaking and stuff like that. So I didn't have like a specific thing. It was just fashion, period, in all aspects. That's what I was running with.
Okay. And then from there, you took the leap. When did you launch your brand?
So at first, and if some of the viewers, I'm pretty sure, maybe they'll remember this, but at first I had a brand. It was called Exclusive Doofus.
Okay.
And
tell us about that.
Yeah. So the way that was birthed was it basically started out with just me designing like varsity jackets for myself.
Okay.
So I would just design them for myself. I would take like vintage varsities or brand new ones and you know, tweak them up, flip them out, like take the insides, exchange them, put different fabrics, materials, patches, and all that type of stuff, and then just being in the Houston circuit, just, you know, being a young man, people would, you know, see me and say, hey man, like, where you get that jacket from? It's like, well,
that's 101.
It's a 101.
Yeah.
So a lot of requests coming from there where like people were just asking to buy it off my back. And then my brother was like, I was telling him, but he was there too the whole time. I'm like, yo, like, people really want to buy these jackets. I'm like, next person asks me, I'm gonna sell it to them just to see what it you know, how it go. And of course, somebody asked me, and I was like, "Oh shit, how much do you want for it?" And they told me a price, and I'm like, "All right, cool." Right off my back.
Wait. So you didn't make them a replica? You gave them the jacket off your back?
Yeah, because he was like, "I want that one." Because I was telling him what I told him. I was like, "Well, I made it for myself," and I was telling him like, "It's really for me." But he was like, I was like, "But." You know, because I was still trying to figure out how I was going to turn this into like a business.
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, I can make you one. He was like, nah, I want that one right there. Like, he didn't want to wait. And we was at an event, and I'm like, damn, okay. So all right, well, here.
I mean, that's, if anything is direct to consumer, that's direct to consumer.
That's it, right?
Yeah, you can't beat that. No website.
Nah.
No marketing.
Nothing.
Well, you were the marketing. Yeah, you were the marketing. Yeah. So did that put hey, I can do this? Yeah,
exactly. It definitely fueled it. Starting with that, and then, you know, word kind of got around the city, and then I started doing a lot of, you know, custom varsities for people, some of the local celebrities and stuff like that. And it definitely birthed that situation.
Okay. Sure. Okay. So how long did that brand, or the first iteration of your brand, how long did that last?
That was it lasted maybe about 2 years.
Okay. And then what made you pivot to where you are now?
Well, I noticed that it started becoming serious and the demand started getting up. And but something that I also noticed is that I wasn't logistically sound, like in the back end of the brand.
Yeah.
So,
and we're going to get to that here in a little, just about how we put things together. But go ahead.
100%. So yeah, it was more about that. And then I started just always wanting to be a couple steps ahead. I'm thinking, okay, you got to look at everything, like the name, and if you want to, what you want to do in the business. Like, is it longevity? Like, do you want to be here for a while? So I went back to the drawing board and kind of revamped a few things, got logistically sound in the back end of the business, and basically all the losses that I took with the exclusive doofus, I heard a bison is a product of that.
Yeah, and so I like what you said, because oftentimes people feel like if the first action didn't work the best, they quit.
Yeah.
But you didn't. You revamped, went back to the drawing board some, and probably really studied the craft more then as well, I would imagine. Because I can just tell by that jacket, you put stuff together. You know what I'm saying? I ain't never seen a Tacito on a jacket. like ever. So I know he live. You know what I'm saying? So we know that. But just because you live at what you do doesn't mean you know how to run a business.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
So this is my first question related to fashion. What does it take to launch a fashion brand?
It take a few things. I think most importantly is you have to become logistically sound. And we talked about that a couple of minutes ago, but you'll never be able to get to the next level. It doesn't matter how many great ideas you have, but if the back end of your business is not set up correctly and the machine is not running efficiently, it's just gonna be short-lived. And
okay.
I noticed that with exclusive doofus, and I made the decision to take a break, get all of that in line, still studying the game, still here with it, but went back and birthed a herd of bison.
So what are some of those steps that you took while you took that break? Because I could imagine there are some people right now who may be in a early stage like you were with your previous iteration. What are some of the things that you said, okay, let me clean this up to make sure that I can take that next step?
Well, a couple of things. The first thing is understanding like what you're good at.
Okay.
Understanding that once you become like a realist in regards to like, okay, what are your strengths when it comes to this business, or any business rather, you take that and you exploit that, but then you also understand like your weaknesses, and those weaknesses, it's a buffering system. You bring in resources to be able to help you with that, trustworthy resources, not just anyone. So that's a process itself.
That might be one of the hardest processes.
That is the hardest process.
Now, how many people did you weed out? Because it had to happen.
Yeah, so I never really had a big operation, and I still don't.
Okay.
But really, it's been family, like my wife and my brother. That's really it. But the hard part with that is because the trust was there, but it's actually helping them find where they're good at too. Yeah.
So okay, being a CEO, you're wearing multiple hats already, and then in wearing those multiple hats, you got to help the people that you work with figure out the hats they need to wear.
100%.
Man, that's crazy. And in fashion, it's so quick moving.
Yes.
You can't wait.
Nah.
Yeah, like you can't waste time. So when you relaunched, what did it look like on the relaunch? Like, did you feel like you were in a good position, or were you like, we doing this regardless?
Yeah. So during that break that I took, what I did was that was the first part, but then the other part was also having trustworthy resources, so sourcing them. So I knew that, okay, these are the resources that I'm dealing with. We have a rapport. Okay, cool. I know that they're good at this. I know I can get this product from them. I know that the materials here is good. This is quality, blah, blah, blah. And bringing that in and forming like this ecosystem that you're comfortable with in the beginning. Something that's sustainable as far as like the demand for like your product. So like, you know, you can have a resource, you know, that can't produce what you need to produce, you know. So I was kind of weeding through that during that break. And then when I was ready to roll out a herd of bison to the world, I felt confident. I'm like, okay, we good. We got everything in place for what was the demand at that point in time. And I was comfortable. I wasn't 100% sure of timing wise, like how everything was going to unfold.
And you can't be.
Nah.
I think that's the part that it sounds like you tried to, or not tried, you did plan and strategize for a launch.
For sure.
But things happen.
100%.
And so
definitely.
How do you handle the chaos of that then?
Man, I think being transparent with people.
Okay.
You know, I like to if you kind of dig into the DNA of my brand, it's very like transparent. I mean, sometimes I'm sharing processes of how things go. I'm sharing issues. You know, not all the time, but I give people, because I know that it's people watching. It's people just like me that want to get into this business. That, you know, and I don't know it all, but I always tell people, you know, I think I've made enough mistakes to where like I can share something to help someone.
Yeah.
So being transparent with people and you know, just showing the side that a lot of people just don't see.
Okay.
You know, is one of those things.
Okay. So let's talk about the brand now. First, tell people where they can find it. Instagram, website, etc. And then let's talk about the meaning behind it, because that's a unique name.
For sure.
So let's go there first.
Yeah. So right now, you can go to A Herd of Bison, www.aherdofbison.com. A Herd of Bison on Instagram. A Herd of Bison on Twitter.
Oh, you was lucky. You was one of the lucky ones to get a name where no one had it.
Right.
So you got it across everything.
Okay.
A Herd of Bison across everything. Because sometimes you have a name and someone already got it on Twitter or someone got it somewhere else.
Yeah.
You was fortunate. Okay.
I was.
So tell us what's that meaning? What's the meaning behind the name?
Right. So really, man, it all kind of stems from like my previous like experiences, and we're talking about from the exclusive Doofus days. So have you seen a herd of anything? Let me ask you.
I have. I'm from Oklahoma.
What part?
I'm from Oklahoma City, Norman. Okay. I went to OU.
Got you.
Yeah.
I'm always in Tulsa, man. My wife.
I go to Tulsa all the time. I was in Tulsa 3 weeks ago at a wedding.
On,
yeah.
What?
You say your wife from Tulsa?
She's from Tulsa.
We're gonna talk after this pod. Then, if there's not a lot of us in Oklahoma as it is, so I imagine we connected in some way.
100. Okay. And everybody know each other, man. So
that's how it is. Okay, we'll do that offline. Okay.
So if you've seen a herd of anything, you can, you know, some of the qualities that they have is and it could be anything, but fluid movement. Everybody's in sync. Intentional, you know, when it comes to moving, things like that. And those are the qualities that I said, you know, I want A Herd of Bison, this brand, the next brand that I had, to possess. So being logistically sound is one of those things. So a herd of, and then bison just being like a powerful animal. Some of the pieces that we have, the meaning behind it is a powerful meaning, some underlying meaning in there. So we wanted some of these pieces, most of the pieces that are released, to be powerful and timeless. So
yeah, so you've attached the structure of how a herd moves to the power behind the animal and created a brand.
Yes, indeed.
Man, that's crazy. Like that's mind blowing to me. Like most people, when they come up with something, a lot of times it might just be because they like the name. Like there was a lot of detail that you put into that. How long did it take you to land on A Herd of Bison?
Like instantly, man. I never thought about the name or what the name was gonna be when I took that break. But when I was ready to, I said I'm good. It just hit me like right there, like A Herd of Bison. That's it, and it just came together like that. Which is, I've talked to a lot of people. I've talked to, you know, in any business, the name is like the hardest thing.
It's the hardest thing. It is. The name. Because it sets your brand together. Like that's
100%.
Once you get the name, then you can. What does a logo look like? What does the color scheme look like? What are we using this behind?
Yes.
That name is important.
Yes.
So I like where you landed with that. Now let's talk a little bit about the brand and you getting products out to people. There's kind of a few strategies that I've seen in fashion, and you tell me if I'm wrong.
Okay.
Sometimes you'll make a piece and you specifically want to get that piece on that one person that when they wear it, everyone sees it, it helps you grow. Or maybe you're priced in a way where people can get to you at an entry point where more people can wear the pieces and go from there. Or you have like just certain collections that are limited drops. And those limited drops, get some scarcity in the market, and that makes people want to purchase your products. What strategy did you use to grow the brand, or was I off base on any of those?
No, you wasn't off base. I mean, in the beginning, brand awareness was important. So,
Okay.
so all of those.
Okay. Okay.
But in the beginning, brand awareness was important. So, you know, you want to get pieces landed on like high profile people. But what I've learned being in that space at one point in time, that's really the value behind that is great, but I think it's just for the moment.
Okay.
So you may get the look at that point in time, but it's not everlasting. And my idea was to, you know, be around like Polo.
Gotcha.
And so when it comes to you know, getting celebrities and things like that, and so I don't reach for that because to me it's more about like gathering the city and like getting into like the culture of like where you are and branching out to other places. That one celebrity, yeah, it's gonna probably bring light to it, but they get stuff from people all the time, man. You know, you want to take the city by the hand and grow with the city. Now it's a slower process.
It is.
It's for people watching, but it's a lot more organic, and you begin to create a cult like following where people just want to they don't care what you have, they just want a herd of bison. Like it doesn't matter because you treat them good, and they know that they're gonna get high quality things, and it's around forever. Okay,
so what was the first step that you took after you relaunched in the city of Houston then?
Okay, yeah. So the first thing that I created was it's not this right here. This is an upcoming collaboration we had with Social Status, but it was a map jacket that I did.
Okay.
And that was my representation to kind of treat the city and say, look, we really gonna put the map on our back. And it was something that I just designed, and I was like, you know, let's see how this goes. I really wasn't even sure about the reception, it would like how well received it would be, but I knew that having something that identified to the city was something that I wanted to go with. So I did a map windbreaker, and that was the first piece right there. So
okay. How well received was it?
It was crazy received, man. We got like articles published. And
were you prepared for that? You can be honest now. It's after. Were you prepared?
Not exactly. Like part of it, I was confident in like just the design aspect of the piece, but I didn't know how received it was gonna be. But as far as like the demand and things like that, I was prepared, but it was like an everyday thing. It was something new. I'm like, shit, like what? Okay, these person reaching out, this person reaching out. So it became like something new every day, and I'm like, okay, wow.
Yeah. I mean, so what advice would you give to someone when maybe a response that you receive is greater than what you initially expected?
Be calm and be patient, man. Like, you know, just take it easy. I think with a lot of this stuff, you know, anxiety and you know, the fashion world is just so, it's like this, it's a roller coaster. So you can definitely have moments where you become overwhelmed, but just stay calm. And as long as you have those things put in place, like I said, the ecosystem in the beginning, to where you have the resources that you need, that you're comfortable with, you have trustworthy people in the background that's handling things that you may not be good at. When that moment come, you'll be prepared for it. So going back to what I said, that's like the most important part, is like being logistically sound.
Yeah, and you said that's like 5 times now. So
yeah, man.
Like matter of fact, that might be the name of this. Would be logistically sound with a herd of bison. Okay, now. We like to do a few things on here to make sure that creators or people who are interested in what you do can understand maybe some trials that may come along the way. Mm-hmm. You do a lot of cross collaborations with people. Mm-hmm. What's your biggest collaboration to date? Were there any hiccups getting involved with that? How did that process look? Because I know that's a quick way that your brand can be seen by a lot of eyes when you do. So I know the one that you may say, but I wanted to get your opinion.
Yeah, so I would have to say the upcoming collaboration.
So, okay. Yeah. Let's say previous then, because your upcoming was Social Status, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, but previous to that, which one would you say then?
That was with the Reebok.
Reebok. Okay, yeah. And how did that come about? Like, what advice could you give someone for working with a major multinational brand?
Just so the way it came about is I was just constantly going into the Reebok store, and I was like steady buying Reeboks. And I was really like kind of like just customizing them, like just doing.
Oh, you do your own?
Yeah, I was like just kind of customizing them, and then the staff would see me always in there. It's like, man, like what are you doing? And I guess you know, I'm always in Herd of Bison, so one of them looked it up, like the store manager or whatever. And the next time I came back in there, he was like, hey man, I looked up that brand, and he was like, man, we love what you do. Can we bring you into the store? And I'm like, yeah, we could do that, but I didn't really know how that was going, like, kind of like. Not manifest, but how it was going to kind of roll up. I didn't know what to expect. I'm like, okay, what is it? Okay, cool. But then that reached out, that got to like the district manager, and you know, it kind of went up the chain, and they actually just paid for me to come in there and you know, give people like work with a couple different silhouettes and give people like a lasering options and all this other stuff.
So stuff you hadn't even been involved with before. Wow.
Yeah.
So I know that. Was it overwhelming, or did you feel like this is where I'm supposed to be?
I feel like at that point I felt like this is where I'm supposed to be.
Okay.
Because, I mean, I see a Herd of Bison just so much more to go.
Yeah. I mean,
so
that's what you said. Yeah.
It was just kind of part of the testimony, but very appreciative and thankful for that moment, man. And, you know, much more of that to come.
Okay.
You know, so to be announced and stuff like that.
Good. Okay. So we do this thing every time. If you were to have 10,000 liquid and wanted to start a fashion brand, no responsibility other than this 10,000 is to help you launch. What would you give to a person who might be starting something?
For sure, I would say, you know, being able to be tangible is important. So direct to consumer is good, but you want to have a broad basis of how people can reach you. So get your website going. Even
to this day, like websites are still important.
Man, it's the thing, man. It's you know,
even with social media.
100%.
Okay.
Because the thing is, you can do direct to consumer, but so long. At some point, when you start growing, people are gonna want your product in different states. So you can't necessarily do you gotta
meet me at the Galleria.
You know, and that's one of them things that you kind of learn. So get you a good website. Get you a product that you're confident in.
Okay.
Get you a product that you're confident in, and also, it doesn't have a monetary value to it. It does, but not right off top. But understand what you're good at.
Yeah. And
go into like a buffering system to where, like, you know, okay, you want to be the best at that.
Okay.
Once you understand that, you had a product, you have accessibility. I would say get your, maybe about 3 products that's gonna relate to people.
Okay. So, not something that you may necessarily care about, something that people may care about.
Well, so it depends on the situation. So for me, it was birthed from myself already. So you was already doing it. Yeah, I was already doing it. Okay. So, but just depending on it's situational, because some people they may like it, but they want to just design for other people. The secret is, or the untold truth is, I design for myself first, and then I put it out. So if it doesn't look good to me first, you'll never see it. So if you come to where I have everything, I Herd of Bison, it's things, and a lot of people like to come. They like, man, I want to pull up on you because they know
you
look at that rack. They for sure picking off that. Like, man, I'm like, why? They like, why you didn't release that? I'm like, I just, I want that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, how important is marketing? You mentioned website. I know y'all are very active on social media. How important is marketing? Should some of that be a marketing budget as a part of your team? Like, what does that look like?
Marketing is important. Very important. Like, it's top. And I was gonna get to that as far as like putting that in that 10,000. Have you a budget set aside for marketing, and understand that marketing it's not always reactive to like when you actually put it in place. Marketing, sometimes you see the benefits of that like later on down the line. And sometimes you see it as very reactive. Sometimes you put a budget into Google ads and things like that, and you see the response, but sometimes you don't. But then a person maybe they saw something that you did that come across the desk, and it's like maybe they didn't want it at that point in time, but they still remember that, and you put that budget into marketing, whatever it is, and then they come back to you. They say, oh yeah, I remember this. Actually, I need that now. I need a windbreaker now. I need a varsity job. I need whatever it is, because you put that money into marketing. So, and also one thing to know is marketing when it comes to fashion, and actually just the way of the world right now, it's changed so much, man. Like,
wow.
Now you got reels, and if you're talking about Instagram, reels is the thing, and last year it wasn't, and so you kind of got to be privy to like what's in right now and what works, because the world is always evolving.
And now you're one person. It's not possible that you're doing everything, right? So how important is delegation as a part of that process then?
Very important, man. Very important. You can't do it all because it's 24 hours in a day.
Straight up.
And if you do it all, it's only going to be for a moment.
Yeah.
And then you're going to get burnt out. And that was part of my testimony in the first half of it was like, I'm burnt out, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. All right. So let's give one tip that you want to give, like your main thing, your main takeaway. And we know one of them is logistics background.
Come on.
But someone who says, I'm starting a brand. They've been drawing. He or she has been putting together work at the crib. They ready. They got something ready to put out now. Mm-hmm. What would that one thing you would say to make sure we motivate them to start?
Kareem, I'm on.
This you right here.
Consistency is key.
Man.
Please understand that. And everything is not reactive all the time when you want it to be. But if you're consistent, you're going to win the long race. Because people are going to go back and look at your work, and they're going to appreciate that. So you may take a loss, but just know that if you be consistent and you true to what you do, and you treat people good, you're going to win the long haul. You're going to win in the end. So be consistent and just have confidence. I think you'll be good.
Man, and y'all pull up on Brother Kareem, the only brother I know that has the same Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Facebook handle, and everything. You the only person I know on earth that was able to accomplish that. So, and we're going to talk some Oklahoma after we get done with this. But look, this has been Horsemen Academy, episode 5 with a herd of bison. We appreciate it, brother.
Solid, man. Appreciate
Thanks so much. We out.